William Beckford, 1709 to 1770. Footnotes. Footnote 1. Extract from Philip Ward Jackson's book, Public Sculpture of the City of London, pages 163 to 165. At a lower level, and turned outwards, are two female allegories seated in forlorn attitudes. Below is a black tablet with the words of Beckford's speech engraved on it. From J.F. Moore's description of his project, presented to the Monument Committee in 1770, we learn that Beckford is represented at the moment when he embarks on the less submissive part of the celebrated reply to George III. See biographical details below. Moore also identifies his two allegorical figures. This model is intended to answer best the following part of the speech, viz. Permit me, sire, farther to observe that whoever had already dared or shall hereafter endeavour, etc., etc., when his body became almost erect, lifting up his right hand and with great firmness concluding his reply. On the right side of the statue is an emblematical figure representing the City of London, mourning with the mace, sword and state, city arms and the cap of maintenance on her head. On the left side, representing trade and navigation in a drooping posture with a cornucopia, a compass, an anchor and a mural crown on her head. In Dr. Madge Dresser's book, Set in Stone, Statues and Slavery in London, pages 172 to 174, the figures flanking Beckford are referred to as allegorical figures of Britannia and commerce. End footnote. Footnote 2. An engraving of the initial sketch can be viewed online on the National Gallery's Scotland website. Accession number EP4 155.2. End footnote. Footnote 3. A short biography for Peter Beckford, baptized 1643, died 1710, can be found on the National Portrait Gallery website. University College London's Legacies of British Slave Ownership online database holds details of the Beckford family. This information was primarily sourced from the research in Perry Gouche's book, William Beckford, First Prime Minister of the London Empire. End footnote. Footnote 4. This figure comes from the Bank of England's inflation calculator, which was accessed 20th of September 2023. End footnote. Footnote 5. Further information available from the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography. End footnote. Footnote 6. Information taken from Beckford's Tower leaflet, Beckford and the Slave Trade, the Legacy of the Beckford Family and Slavery. End footnote. Footnote 7. Extract from Dr. Amy Frost's article, The Beckford Era, in Caroline Dacre's book, Fonthill Recovered, A Cultural History, page 59 to 93. In 1747, Beckford's political campaign gathered pace when he was elected as MP for Shaftesbury. The freedom of the Ironmongers' Company in 1752 followed, and then in 1754 he was elected as an MP for the City of London. Beckford's strength in the capital continued to grow, and he ascended from Sheriff of London 1755 to twice Lord Mayor of London 1762 and 1769. A close ally and personal friend of William Pitt, Beckford was a key member of the Whig Party. End footnote. Footnote 8. For further information on the Beckford family's wealth derived from enslavement and the plantation economy, see Matthew Parker's book, The Sugar Barons. It is also interesting to understand the irony of Beckford's involvement in the architecture of enslavement and his ostentatious lifestyle in Britain, built on the profits of participating in the nefarious transatlantic enslavement system. Beyond the Guildhall Library manuscripts, there is an entry for William Beckford in the online version of the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, written in 2004 by Richard B. Sheridan, which describes the enslaver's extravagant lifestyle and ostentatious shows of significant wealth as follows. William Beckford, the rich colonial, occupied a difficult position in English society because of his ugly Jamaican accent, lack of charm, and ostentatious display of immense wealth. End footnote. Footnote 9. See entry for Alderman William Beckford's statuette on the Victoria and Albert Museum collections online, accession number A.48-1928. Notes prepared for Uncomfortable Truths, Traces of the Trade, Gallery Trails, Trail 3, Britain and the West Indies, written by Helen Mears and Janet Brown. Largely drawn from William Beckford's Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, 1986 entry. See also Victoria Perry's book, A Bittersweet Heritage, Slavery, Architecture and the British Landscape, for a comprehensive account of the different ways Beckford flaunted his wealth. End footnote. Footnote 10. See William Beckford entry on UCL Legacies of British Slave Ownership online database. End footnote. Footnote 11. See Vincent Brown's book, Tacky's Revolt, The Story of an Atlantic Slave War. End footnote. Footnote 12. See Richard Hart's book, Slaves Who Abolished Slavery, Blacks in Rebellion. Specifically, Chapter 1, The Beginning of Black Resistance, Chapter 2, The First Maroon War, and Chapter 4, The Second Maroon War. End footnote. Footnote 13. See entry for the Beckford family on the Westminster School Online Archive. End footnote. Footnote 14. See 1776 Salon, Tacky's Revolt, American Repertory Theatre, available on YouTube. For further reading, see Vincent Brown's book, Tacky's Revolt, The Story of an Atlantic Slave War. In particular, Chapter 2, The Jamaica Garrison, pages 44 to 84, and Chapter 4, Tacky's Revolt, pages 129 to 163, deal specifically with the significance of Tacky's War in narratives of resistance and directly reference William Beckford on pages 54 to 58 and page 130. Richard Hart also wrote a chapter on Tacky's War in Slaves Who Abolished Slavery, Blacks in Rebellion. Please see Chapter 6, pages 130 to 156. End footnote. Footnote 15. See Samuel Marmadou's 2021 article, Tacky's War, 1760 to 1761, on the website Black Past. End footnote. Footnote 16. See entry for Alderman William Beckford on the UCL Legacies of British Slavery database. End footnote. Footnote 17. A short biography for William Thomas Beckford, 1760 to 1844, can be found on the National Portrait Gallery website. End footnote. Footnote 18. This figure comes from the Bank of England's inflation calculator, which was accessed 5th of March 2023. End footnote. Footnote 19. The paintings previously owned by William Thomas Beckford can be viewed on the National Gallery website. End footnote.